In question 111 of Prima Secunda of the Summa Theologica, St. Thomas Aquinas talks about the division of grace. Now the title is kind of weird. It really just means what are the different kinds of grace, and you've probably heard of habitual grace and actual grace and sanctifying grace and gratuitous grace. So what are all these different kinds of graces, and what questions does St. Thomas Aquinas ask in the Summa about them? Well, you came to the right place if you're thinking about that, because that's what we're going to talk about in these 5 articles. And the first one says whether grace is fittingly divided into sanctifying grace and gratuitous grace. He says there's a twofold grace, one whereby man himself is united to God, and this is called sanctifying grace. This would be the grace of baptism and confirmation and holy orders, the extreme unction. Okay, we're receiving sanctifying grace through the sacraments for ourselves, right? The other is whereby one man cooperates with another in leading him to God, and this gift is called gratuitous grace, since it is bestowed on a man beyond the capability of nature and beyond the merit of the person. All right, so these would be like healing and speaking in tongues and teaching, and we'll go into it a little bit more here in just a moment. All right, so Article 2 says whether grace is fittingly divided into operating and cooperating grace. Now remember, a couple of days ago we had the necessity of grace, and article after article after article said we really can't persevere, we can't even prepare ourselves for grace unless God makes the first move. Well, here we're going to see that yes, God operates first, but there is a certain cooperation that is up to us to respond to God's grace. He says grace may be taken in 2 ways. First, as a divine help, whereby God moves us to will and to act. Secondly, as a habitual gift, divinely bestowed upon us. Now, in both these ways, grace is fittingly divided into operating and cooperating, for the operation of an effect is not attributed to the thing moved, but to the mover. Hence, in that effect in which our mind is moved and does not move, but in which God is the sole mover, the operation is attributed to God. Okay, that's operating grace. And it is with reference to this that we speak of operating grace. But in that effect in which our mind both moves and is moved, the operation is not only attributed to God, but also to the soul, and it is with reference to this that we speak of cooperating grace. So it's kind of self-explanatory. When we cooperate with God's grace, that's cooperating grace. Article 3, whether grace is fittingly divided into prevenient and subsequent, okay, before and after. And this one says, as grace is divided into operating and cooperating with regard to the diverse effects, so also is it divided into prevenient and subsequent, howsoever we consider grace. Now there are 5 effects of grace in us. The first is to heal the soul. The second is to desire good. The third is to carry into effect the good proposed. The fourth is to persevere in good, and the fifth is to reach glory. And hence grace, inasmuch as it causes the first effect in us, is called prevenient. And with respect to the second, and inasmuch as it causes the